In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on December 13, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Los Angeles Clippers versus Denver Nuggets. Western Conference action continues on Friday night with an intriguing matchup as the Los Angeles Clippers face the Denver Nuggets. These teams have already clashed twice this season, with the Clippers coming out victorious in both encounters, once on their home court and once on the road. The Clippers, however, are entering this contest on the back of a disappointing 117-106 home loss to the Houston Rockets, where they failed to cover the spread as 3.5-point home underdogs. Meanwhile, the Nuggets are riding high after an emphatic 141-111 road victory against the Atlanta Hawks, easily surpassing the expectations as slight half-point underdogs. The Clippers remain without key players Kawhi Leonard and Derrick Jones Jr., while the Nuggets are monitoring the statuses of Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon for this game. For the Clippers, this 4-day break couldn't have come at a better time, providing a chance to reset after back-to-back defeats to Minnesota and Houston. Although the Clippers have bested the Nuggets in their 2 meetings this season, the betting lines reflect skepticism, with Los Angeles entering as underdogs. James Harden, who had a standout performance against Denver earlier this season, averaging 31 points and 13.5 assists in those games, sat out the recent loss to Houston but could be crucial in this matchup. Ivica Zubac has also elevated his rebounding efforts this season but faces a daunting task in defending Nikola Jokic, which could strain the Clippers' defensive schemes. Nikola Jokic has been in phenomenal form, putting up a staggering 104 points, 30 rebounds, and 16 assists over his last 2 games. Despite his individual brilliance, the Nuggets have struggled, going 2-3 straight up in their last 5 games as they lack consistent support from the rest of the roster. Injuries to key players such as Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, and Jamal Murray have only compounded their challenges, and another Herculean performance from Jokic may be required. The Nuggets' recent loss to the Washington Wizards further highlighted their inconsistencies, and their 3-6-1 record against the spread in home games this season underscores their unreliability. Historically, this matchup has favored the Clippers, who have won 4 of their last 5 meetings with Denver and covered the spread in 5 of the last 6 encounters. This season's 2 games were tightly contested, with margins of 5 and 4 points, suggesting another closely fought battle on Friday night. While the Nuggets typically get the edge at home, their underwhelming 8-13-1 against the spread record this season raises questions. In contrast, the Clippers have shown resilience and profitability with a 15-9-1 against the spread record. The line appears to overestimate Denver's edge, making the Los Angeles Clippers to cover the spread as underdogs our full game side pick. This game is unlikely to be a defensive showcase, as the primary scorers for both teams are more recognized for their offensive firepower than their defensive prowess. Jokic and Harden excel on offense, while players like Norman Powell and Michael Porter Jr. are similarly inclined toward scoring. The Nuggets, who play at a fast pace and rank 6th in possessions per game, are regaining their rhythm with the return of Aaron Gordon, whose contributions on putbacks and lobs add valuable offensive versatility. The Clippers lack a significant post presence on offense, which means they will likely rely on perimeter shooting and quick strikes from Harden and Powell. Denver recently demonstrated their offensive capability by scoring 141 points in their last outing, and both teams enter this game well rested. The Nuggets have exceeded the projected point total in their last 3 games and currently rank 5th in pace of play in the NBA. Jokic, more aggressive than ever, should continue his scoring tier, while Jamal Murray's favorable matchups could set him up for a strong showing. Similarly, Harden and Powell, both averaging over 30 points per game against the Nuggets this season, are poised for significant contributions despite the Clippers' depleted rotation. All signs point to a high-scoring affair, making over the projected total our full game total pick. Phoenix Suns versus Utah Jazz. A Western Conference showdown is set to take place on Friday as the Phoenix Suns host the Utah Jazz. This will be their 2nd meeting of the season, with the Suns having secured an 8-point road victory in the previous matchup. Phoenix enters this game following a 115-110 loss to the Orlando Magic, where they were narrowly edged out as 1.5-point road underdogs. Meanwhile, Utah comes off a devastating road defeat, falling 141-97 to the Sacramento Kings as 10.5-point underdogs. The Suns continue to contend with injuries, with Colin Gillespie and Jalen Bridges still sidelined. However, there is hope as Kevin Durant is anticipated to return to the lineup. On the other hand, the Jazz face uncertainty with Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson, both listed as questionable for this matchup. For Phoenix, Durant's availability is a critical factor as his presence could significantly bolster the team's chances. After enduring 3 consecutive road losses, the Suns will welcome a return to their home court, where they have an 8-4 record and an 8-8 mark against the spread in conference play. Utah has struggled in similar scenarios, holding an 8-12 against the spread record in conference games. Phoenix's three-point shooting may be a decisive factor in this game. The Suns rank 9th in the NBA in both attempts from beyond the arc and three-pointers made. Conversely, the Jazz rank poorly in defending the perimeter, allowing opponents to attempt 40.1 three-pointers per game and make 14.5. The current betting line of Suns favored by 4.5 points reflects the uncertainty surrounding Durant's status. Vegas appears to be factoring in the possibility that Durant may not play, as this game concludes Phoenix's road trip. It's more plausible that Durant returns once the team is back in Arizona. However, this creates a favorable scenario for bettors supporting the Suns. If Durant plays, Phoenix could cover an adjusted spread with ease, and even if he doesn't, the Suns still possess a more talented roster. Utah's season has been marked by inconsistency, and Markkanen's recent performances suggest he may still be hindered by lingering injuries. He scored just 8 points in 25 minutes during his last outing. Even without Durant, the Suns can lean on Devin Booker and Bradley Beal to provide ample offensive firepower against a Jazz team that has struggled at home with a 2-9 record. The Suns have faced challenges when missing their top stars, but with Durant's potential return, they are well positioned to handle a Utah team that may be without its 2 key players yet again. Facing a depleted and demoralized Jazz squad, the Phoenix Suns to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams have demonstrated a trend toward high-scoring games, and this matchup could follow suit with a fast-paced tempo. Neither relies heavily on post-up play for offense. Phoenix's scoring is driven by their perimeter threats in Booker and Beal, with Durant, if available, adding further outside shooting potency. Utah's interior players, including Markkanen and John Collins, primarily contribute through outside shooting, lobs, and finishes off offensive rebounds, rather than traditional back-to-the-basket play. While Utah recently exploded for 141 points against the Blazers, the Suns' defense has been porous, conceding at least 115 points in each of their last 3 games. Notably, both teams have surpassed the total in their last 3 outings. Consequently, over the projected total is our full game total pick. San Antonio Spurs versus Portland Trail Blazers. The San Antonio Spurs, currently ranked 11th in the Western Conference, will be taking on the Portland Trail Blazers, who are in 13th place in the conference, on December 13th at the Moda Center. The Spurs are coming off a narrow 121-116 victory at home on Sunday against the New Orleans Pelicans. On the other hand, the Trail Blazers are struggling with a 4-game losing streak, with their most recent setback being a 107-98 defeat on the road against the Los Angeles Lakers on Sunday. This matchup marks the second of 4 games between the 2 teams this season, with the Spurs previously defeating the Trail Blazers 118-105 in San Antonio on November 7th. The Spurs will continue to play without Stephon Castle and Zach Collins due to injuries. Meanwhile, the Trail Blazers are monitoring the status of Robert Williams and Deander Ayton, both of whom are listed as questionable for the game. Victor Wembanyama, who had missed 2 games due to a back injury, recently returned to the lineup. His return was crucial in helping the Spurs break a 3-game losing streak, and it was evident that the team's defense immediately improved with Wembanyama back on the floor. His presence is vital to San Antonio's defensive performance and overall team strength. Looking at the team statistics, the Spurs are statistically a stronger team than the Trail Blazers. San Antonio scores an average of 113 points per 100 possessions, ranking 16th in the NBA, while allowing 114.5 points per 100 possessions, which places them 17th in the league defensively. The Blazers will face significant challenges in trying to contain Wembanyama, especially with key players like Donovan Clingan and Robert Williams III out. Portland's struggles in rebounding are expected to continue, making making it even harder for them to compete effectively. With several centers on their roster dealing with injuries, except for DeAndre Ayton, Portland is in a tough position to slow down Wembanyama and the Spurs. Considering that San Antonio won by 13 points in their previous encounter, they should be able to secure another win by a comfortable margin, given their superior overall play. In terms of net ratings, San Antonio sits at 17th with a minus 2.1 net rating, while Portland is much further down in 27th place with a minus 9.5 net rating. The Portland Trail Blazers continue to struggle with both defense and closing out games, which makes them an unreliable team to support consistently. Meanwhile, the San Antonio Spurs are sitting at a .500 record, and if they have aspirations of making a playoff push, these are the types of games they must win. The Spurs' victory over the Blazers by 13 points a month ago reflects their superior strength. Portland has not only failed to win but also failed to cover the spread in each of their last 4 games. With the Spurs being favored in this matchup, the San Antonio Spurs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In their earlier matchup this season, the two teams combined for 223 total points, and it's unlikely they will reach such a high total in this game. Recent offensive trends suggest both teams are struggling to score efficiently. Over their last 4 games, the Spurs have averaged 113 points per game, while the Blazers have managed only 101 points per game in their last 3 contests. Portland is among the worst offensive teams in the league, as they have failed to reach the 100-point mark in 6 of their last 10 games. The Blazers' top scorer averages just 17 points per game, and the team as a whole is shooting only 43.5% from the field, ranking 29th in the NBA in field goal percentage. The Spurs are also not an elite offensive team but remain more efficient than Portland. San Antonio has a field goal percentage of 45.4%, which ranks 20th in the league, and they make 34.5% of their three-pointers, placing them 22nd in the NBA. In terms of pace, the Spurs average 98.7 possessions per 48 minutes, ranking 16th in the league, while the Trail Blazers have a slightly higher pace, with 99.7 possessions per 48 minutes, placing them 10th. Despite both teams not preferring to play at a slow pace, the combination of their recent struggles to score effectively suggests that the game will fall under the projected total. As a result, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.